It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Hareld, and Araceli Avalos. And now, let's dish. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're about to serve up a full dish of last week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by... Oh, I don't even have to do that anymore. Why am I doing that? Because we have a whole opening where I don't have to introduce everyone. Well, in case you haven't already, make sure you like us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Le Twitter. We are also on your YouTubes, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification, so that way we know that you like it and love it and want a whole lot more of it. Also, speaking of wanting more of it, if you need us on your favorite podcast station, make sure you tune in to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or wherever podcasts are posted. You can find our little show, Dishin Days. Just type in the search. Make sure you follow us and take us along on that long road trip, that shopping spree, or if it's just right down the street to your mailbox. We are there for you to give you all the dish on Days of Our Lives. And also, to show that you are a true friend of Dishin Days, buy our merch. DishinDays.threadless.com has all of these latest hits and logos for you. So if you want to proudly wear them across your chest or lay it out on a beach or sip it on a mug, make sure you go to DishinDays.threadless.com to purchase your merch today. Also, for your full fix of soaps, make sure you head over to JLJ Media. Our former co-host and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., is giving you all the latest on all of your favorite soaps. General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and Being Bold and the Beautiful. And also some original audio dramas. Check out JLJ Media on the YouTubes right now. And Araceli is not... That was... I know. No, it feels just as long. Also, Araceli is not with us today because she is busy with family. Hi, Araceli.
Hope she's good and... What did she say? Not exactly upright when she was drunk texting us?
Well, yeah, she's probably...
I mean, she said a lot, but...
She's probably good and lit by now. Good and lit. Also, shout out to everyone who attended our 8th anniversary virtual happy hour. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you were there, you got to see Billy Flynn, Stacey Hyduke, Christopher Sean, Elia Cantu, Martha Madison. Yeah, those are all who stopped by. So thank you all so much for stopping by and wishing us a happy anniversary and continuing to support our little show. All right. With that being said.
Oh, shout out to Betty Jean, who didn't make it.
Yes.
She asked for thoughts and prayers, so we're sending her thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
Don't know quite why, but yeah. I didn't pry into her business, but
well,
sending some love her way.
Yes, everyone who knows Betty Jean, just say a little prayer for her.
Yeah.
And thank you all for tuning in live. We know you could be watching the Super Bowl right now, but you are watching us, or maybe you're watching us later.
They still got half an hour. It doesn't start till 3:30. They're only 3:07. So,
but people might be at Super Bowl parties, hosting Super Bowl parties.
Megan Bizarro has already said her husband she's watching on her phone because her husband took over the TV. So that's dedication.
Yes, that is dedication. So what did you guys think of this week's episode of Days?
These people, I feel like I made better decisions in my youth than these people made.
Aren't you still in your youth?
Depending on who you ask. But no, I'm not. But yeah. It was, it was just a week of
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. It was like an okay week. I wasn't that impressed by what was going on, but Yeah, it was.
There were. I texted you guys this. There were a lot of people on the show this week.
Yeah.
Like almost the entire cast was present except for a few. Because I was going through, who was on, and I was like, dang, like everybody had a moment this week. So
there was something to do.
It just made me realize how many people are, how many characters are on how much shit there is to keep track of now on the show, and who's doing what, and they're all starting to merge together, and yeah.
I thought this week was interesting. I feel like Days said,
yeah.
It's kind of shaking things up a little bit. So I felt like that's what kept it interesting. I think a lot of times we were like, ugh, they're just spicing it up a little bit. So with that, let's break it on down. It is now time to start
Dishin Days. I saw you.
I did. I nodded, and then you were the only one that said it. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's a new thing. We'll just designate one person to say it. It's time to start, and then someone just says Dishin Days.
One person each. Yeah.
Shout out to my mom who says that she is watching for 25 minutes, and then she's going to watch the Super Bowl. And she is rooting for the Eagles. So
make it a good 25 minutes. Okay.
There you
I guess I'll root for the Eagle. Where's the other team from? The Chiefs. Where are they from?
Kansas.
I'll do Philadelphia just because I have friends that have lived there. They don't currently live there, but they have lived there. So
I love that. That's your reasoning.
And I love a Philly cheesesteak. So
yeah. I'm rooting for Rihanna.
No,
I as well am rooting for Rihanna.
Of course, as you should.
Yes.
I actually have to work after this, after her performance. So.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah.
Oh, nah.
What's my name? Okay, we have a bet, and then we can get to the show. Then I'll shut up. We have a bet about what her intro song is going to be, and that was my guess. And everyone's like, "No, that's not going to be it." And I'm like,
I can see that.
I can see that, and that was.
I don't think she's starting off with an umbrella or anything. You have to lead into that.
I feel like Umbrella will be the last, but yeah, we'll see.
I feel like it could be Only Girl in the World, or she may start at the beginning of her career with Pond the Replay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Well, we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just on what?
Never mind.
All right. Well, let's get down to Days of Our Lives now. With our first storyline, Stealing the Spectator and Sex with Rex. We have Jack, Jennifer, Gwen, Xander, Leo, everyone.
This was the most interesting one for me this week.
Same. The Xander. What's her name? Oh, Nana. Gwen. Xander and Gwen. I kept wanting to say Sarah, and I was like, no, Sarah was off being stupid. No, yeah, this was when they were like, oh, they're gonna take over the Spectator. Okay, this is getting good. Like this is the kind of drama I want.
Yeah. But it's also the leverage that they have to take over the Spectator, because we all forgot that Jennifer hit Gwen when she was on the pills.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happened so long. Well, how long ago did that happen?
Was that November? Or
November, October?
Something like that? Maybe, something like that in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when it happened, but the fact that they brought it up, I was like, And see, sometimes
it's one of those things where I was like, oh, right. They do have good, leverage, something to hold over.
It's actually funny because when they said that, and they were like, because it was Leo really who brought it up. He was like, dig into their past. I thought for some reason it was going to be like they were going to do the rape storyline again or something like that. Yeah. That's what I thought they were going with that. Maybe like plaster that on the news or the tabloid or something like that. Yeah. And I like the little shot of like when Leo was like, yeah, go after Jack because he stole the paper from my mom in the first place. Like I like that.
Yeah, the nod to history.
Yeah, nod to, yeah.
I could tell though that Gwen doesn't seem like she's 100% on board. Because
she does seem a little hesitant.
She seems hesitant because she was like, Xander is like all for it when he walked in. Mm-hmm. But Gwen was like, "Oh, daddy dear.
Daddy.
If you don't hand us the Spectator, I'm sending Jennifer to jail."
I was disappointed that they stopped it, like that we didn't see Jack's initial reaction.
Yeah,
we didn't see any kind of like tense conversation after that with them. It was like the next time we saw them, it was the next morning. Jack was pondering it, and I was like, oh, I was hoping we would have gotten like a good, like, I don't know what adjective to use, but just a good, tense scene between Gwen and Jack, and like the threat and why, and then like, it was a strange cut, Deborah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I while watching this though, I realized I kind of miss how Gwen was in the beginning when she was first introduced to us. Mm-hmm. There was something about this strong woman who like there's something about this strong like woman who had this like master plan to get back at Jack and the family, and it looked like it was working. And I feel like now they've taken Gwen down a notch, and like I kind of wanted her to just kind of be like this same like tough, strong woman that she started off as. I feel like they've made her a little bit of a softie.
They weakened. They've definitely weakened the character over time, and whether that was intentional, that she was actually trying to be like the daughter Abigail was, she was honestly trying to be good, and it's just not. It's just not in her nature. And though I don't agree, like when she like got busted for all of the shit she was doing with like the potions and what the serums, and I wasn't on board with that. I was just like, girl, like you're being dumb now. Mm-hmm. But this kind of thing where it's like a plot to like take over something as revenge, I'm like, oh, I'm down for this. I like that. So I agree. I think she needs a little bit of her
edge back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also think she finds comfort in the fact that she's doing it with Xander, and she has a partner in crime. I think is what's like. I agree with you, Tony. She's sort of kind of like half in it, half out. To where like when Xander said like I'm not interested, it was kind of like okay, back to square one with her. But when Xander was like I'm fully in again, it was like okay, I got a partner here, someone who's gonna go with me to the mile and be bad with me, kind of thing. And she's not all alone by herself.
I was disappointed when Xander first had a change of heart, because after that conversation with Johnny, I was like, no, don't puss out on this. Like, keep it going. And then, that dumb interaction with Sarah and Rex, who, sorry, not on Sarah's side with this. Like, I understand her side, but not on her side. And I was like, jumping into bed with Rex, can kind of understand why you want a tit for tat thing. So you tapped Rex because you had the opportunity. We'll talk about the Philip thing in a minute. Because anyway, but then to like kind of flaunt it in Xander's face like that, and then like, oh, was it the time in the shower? Oh no, it was the third. I was like, okay, girl, we get it. You fucked the guy.
Well, she was just trying to give Xander what she got when she found out that Gwen and Xander slept together. So I think that she was trying to do that.
Did they do it in the same way? Did they?
They didn't. They did it. It was very much like, I mean, yeah, we did. But I think for her, it was just kind of like, two can play that game, and anything you can do, I can do better.
Yep. And I like that Rex joined in too, and was like, because he has that history with Xander. It's like, okay, we can go tit for tat here.
I don't know. For some reason, with Sarah and Rex, I was just like, you're a couple of assholes. That was just my feeling of it. But it got Xander to change his mind again about going forward with the plot to steal the Spectator. So I was like, okay, that's what this is going. That's what's happening. Something had to happen to push him back in.
But at least Xander tried to have a conversation with Jack, you know, because as they passed each other, it was like, yo, like, so we're not friends anymore? Like, what's the tea? And you know, I kind of am team Xander and Gwen on this.
Yeah.
I think that I understand that they've been through a lot, Gwen and Jack, but I feel like the love that you have for your child, no matter how many times they mess up, will never go away. And I think for him to do this ultimatum to her was kind of ridiculous. It's kind of like, you're an adult, you do what you want to do, but my name is Ben and I ain't in it, and I don't approve this message.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what it should have been.
So, you know, to be completely done with her when like you've been out of her life for most of her life, like.
And like we said last week, this was more of like the most kind of nothing she did, but certainly the most like innocuous of all the things she's done. Like helping him after the fact, it was more of like, I'm trying to help out someone who I wronged, and like I'm trying to get on good terms with again. It wasn't a malicious thing. It wasn't a revenge thing. It, you know, of all things to sort of take her to task with, this is sort of the least of the things she's done in the past, I don't know, 3-4 years. Yeah. But I did love when Xander compared Jack to Victor. I never never made that parallel before. And when he said that, I was like, oh, like that's a really good one. Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm curious how, you know, how this is going to play out. I mean, Leo is loving it because Lady Whisperer can really spill the tea.
Lady Whistleblower.
Well, yeah, Lady Whistleblower can now spill all the tea on all the things that are happening in Salem.
Speaking of Leo, I'm back to just shaking my head whenever he opens his mouth. I'm just like, not everything has to be a pun. Not everything has to be a gay joke. Not everything has to be like something, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, he goes from being like likable, like a likable scamp, to then being just this, you know, like, what was I calling him before? Like a gnat, you know? Just like and he goes from being, well, what I just said, likable. Do you guys remember the character Hareld? Like from way long ago.
Yeah.
He was brought on as a gay character. He was brought on as a gay character because for whatever reason, Jack told Greta he was gay.
Yeah.
And so then Greta hooked him up, was trying to set him up with her friend Hareld, who was like
Jack from Will and Grace, we'll say.
Like Jack from Will and Grace, but annoying.
Yes.
More annoying. And I think that's exactly what they were trying to model him after. And so Leo's this character that goes from like, okay, he's kind of a troublemaker, but he's entertaining to watch. But then he starts to go into Hareld territory where it's just like, shut up. And so now he's Hareld 2.0 to me. And I'm just like, I want to enjoy you, but you're just annoying me.
I'm living for the hotel room scene, just the twin beds. I like that they set that up earlier, and it's not them sharing that same hotel. They at least like put a little effort.
Do a different hotel room,
get a new hotel room,
But I wish with that though they like would have. Well, I mean, I guess they couldn't. It's like the same side though. It's like they just took the big bed and put it into, you know what I mean? Like I wish it was just like situated differently so that but
take out the full bed, put in two twins. Yes.
What hotel room has two twin beds? Well, the Salem Inn. The Salem Inn does.
Probably a discounted rate. Neither of them have jobs. Neither of them still like. But how are they? I've lost track of who's paying the bill.
Well, Gwen worked at the Salem Spectator, so she has money.
So she had a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she wasn't paying rent at the Horton house, so yeah.
Right. So she should have a good bit set, saved up.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Do we approve of the what's the word I'm looking for? That starts with an rebound sex with Rex.
No. Dumb.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah. You
don't? No.
Why?
Because he's no.
Oh, you don't like Rex.
Did you want Rex to solve equations during this? Like,
no, he could have done nothing and I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
Well, he didn't have to do anything. But the amount of shit that he did, like, he was not worth a revenge fuck. Like, go find someone else. Alex Curio, like, I would have been on board. Alex Curio, well, wait, are they related? Sarah and Alex related? They're not related. I would have been on board with Sarah using, but Alex was busy doing
he's a little busy.
Yeah, he's a little busy. I would have been on board with that kind of revenge, but Rex is just like, no, bad Sarah.
Well, you tend to go back to what you're familiar with.
I understand, like, and again, I understand the mentality behind it, and they have history, and he was there, and blah, blah, but I'm just like, no, girl, no. But it happened, and
I kind of forgot about them until he showed up, and then it was like, oh yeah, she does have like other options if she, if they want to take her in a different direction. So yeah, I was here for it. I like them together.
Did we know that Rex knew about Philip? That I forgot. That I couldn't remember.
We found that out last week.
Did we?
Yeah, because Roman told him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he had to go.
But are we surprised that he easily blabbed it to Sarah?
Oh no, sorry. Lucas told him, and then Rex had the conversation with Roman.
Oh, because I couldn't for the life of me remember. But
well, I mean, I feel like
told Sarah.
I don't know why he did that, but that was weird.
I mean, to just explain why he was there, I don't see. It was more of a secret with Kate and Philip.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Kate, Philip, Victor, Roman,
yeah.
I think Rex maybe doesn't know. I mean, he knows the situation, but like, I don't want to say severity of it, but like, I don't know, like like they really tried to keep it on the hush.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it's just like he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna tell Chloe and Brady.
Yeah,
because I think now it's just kind of
with Kate gone, it was probably like there's no reason to keep it a secret maybe anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, that, and I don't think Brady's gonna be like, Philip is alive. I'm gonna get him back for everything that he did to me. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can keep going.
Y'all, this key thing is so sensitive.
Oh, you did that. Oh,
did you hit it?
Yes. I put my hand on my leg, and all of a sudden it's just like bah, bah, and I'm like, goodness gracious. Well, since I'm sitting here, I'm gonna make sure my car's locked. But I think this is just one of those things again where what I appreciate the fact is that they do keep bringing it up because sometimes in the past what Days would do is they would just like sweep things under the rug, and so I think the fact that they just kind of bring it up in this like non like important way, but it's just kind of like, yeah, you guys, we didn't forget, about this, but whatever. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's good. Or who knows? Or maybe it will have some significance later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Jennifer's back. So, played by Katie McLean.
Yeah. Barely got in the door before a drama. She was like, put her back down.
I wonder if sometimes when people land in Salem, are they just kind of like,
Right.
They like gotta have a drink at the bar before they leave the airport.
Yeah.
They're like, ugh, shit's going down now.
Right.
What are y'all doing today?
Oh boy. Well, speaking of mess.com, we gonna go over to the young folks not knowing how to act.
Someone made a comment that Chanel's the only mature, Chanel's the only mature thinking one right now.
Yeah.
Really?
But
because I'm like I guess she's kind of like I don't know. She's not. Well, I guess Johnny's not either. He's not really acting out. He was just like the whole situation with Johnny and him. Like he wanted to take Wendy to the movie. Wendy was like, "Oh no, my boy Trip needs help, so I'm going to go with him." And then just happens to run into Chanel, invites her to the movie. She doesn't want to go. They go get a drink, and then it's all, Johnny, you're always with Chanel. You just couldn't wait to ask her out. I was like, I felt bad for Johnny in this situation because I'm like, dude's just trying to go see a movie and wants someone to go with him. He wasn't in that moment, trying to play both sides, trying to play both or whatever.
It's insecurities.
No, he wasn't, Justin.
It's insecurities being screamed everywhere. What was that for, Justin?
They're all wrong.
It's all a mess. It's all a mess.
Everyone in this scenario is wrong.
In that scenario, though, Johnny was not wrong. No, he wasn't. No. He was just trying to go. Well, honestly, he could have just been like, you know what? Screw these ladies. I'm gonna go see the movie.
Cody's like, I'm gonna sit back. Araceli's here. I'm not arguing with anybody. No, when there's a person coming between you and your significant other, you do not go out of your way to spend time with that other person, knowing there's tension. Johnny knows that Allie and Chanel are on the rocks.
He didn't go out of his way.
He asked her to a movie. Remember, they were they were plotting the movie. Remember that whole thing where it was like, oh, we don't want people to see us together, so we're gonna do. You know what I mean? It was like they know they're doing something wrong. They're trying to make light of it, but
they weren't. No, it's not that they thought they were doing something wrong. They were just trying to avoid the bullshit.
They just avoid it by not hanging out with each other.
But it's not like they sought each other out. They just ran into each other.
Yeah, and you say hi and bye, and you keep it moving. You don't go out.
No,
you're not hanging out with someone your partner has a problem with. You're not. Or you solve that problem with your partner, and then you reestablish the friendship. You're not going to a bar.
Okay, so that's Chanel. Chanel's the one with the relationship problem. It was her responsibility to do that.
But it's Johnny's sister too. So they both have skin in the game. I'm saying Johnny everyone's bad. Allie's bad. Alex.
Johnny wasn't doing anything wrong.
They're all doing everything
Johnny wasn't doing anything wrong.
Of course he was.
Johnny wasn't doing anything wrong.
Of course they were.
Johnny wasn't doing anything wrong.
Well, you do love your Carson, so.
I do love my Carson, and his scene with Paul was very good. The Johnny Xander interaction. He actually got a tear. Out talking about his grandma.
That was a good one. But no, everyone in the storyline is wrong. I like it because they're all being bad, so it's not like this person's bad and this one's good. I think Allie and Alex took it too far than everyone else did, but everyone's bad. Everyone's doing wrong in this storyline.
Tony, what do you think?
What you think?
You heard what we think.
Capital MESS.
Yeah.
It's all a mess. I think that there are a lot of insecure people within these multiple triangles. I think that I kind of have to agree with Michael that that Chanel is kind of the only slightly more mature one, although she's not as mature as we would like her to be, because she should have listened to what Paulina was saying, that she was jumping to conclusions and maybe that those are valid stories or whatever, instead of she should have took that moment to see it from another perspective instead of just being like, but mama, you supposed to be on my side. It's like, no, I'm just trying to show you that maybe what she's saying is actually true and that what you're concluding is not true. I think that everyone within all this has many misconceptions about each other. But I also think that there's not some honesty happening too, as far as like true feelings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. As I break them down, I'm starting to think that maybe Wendy and Trip are a better match. And I think maybe because there's just not so much muckiness there.
Yeah.
I think Johnny and Chanel should maybe admit that there is still something between them, and that the only thing that destroyed their marriage was the fact that Johnny got possessed by the devil. I think that Allie and Chanel should just recognize that, Allie tried, but I don't think ultimately this is the relationship she wants to be in.
Well, and like I said 2 weeks ago, she's in this place where she just discovered something about herself, and she's in that. She went full on in, and then did the threesome, which and so it's just she's insecure. I feel like she went into this relationship slightly insecure, just based on the fact that this was all new territory for her, and now it's just got like the insecurity is just coming out and compounding, and she's acting out, and it's not good.
And I think I think she's been intrigued. Allie has been intrigued with Alex since before the threesome. And I think afterwards that intrigue has still been there, which I think is why she was like, well, you can sleep in my bed. Underwear optional. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you who I'm mad at. I'm mad at the set designer for putting them plants in front of Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they can't show
that.
Even on Peacock.
But
I think we're getting nudity, or like it's going to be soft porn now.
I'm not saying that I wanted nudity. I'm just saying that I'm mad that they were in the way. That's all.
You can go back and watch those scenes of Alex in the red underwear in the Kyriakis mansion.
Oh yeah.
Because we saw some stuff then, and that was back when it was on NBC. So
I'm just saying,
someone can pull that up easily. I'm sure.
I was just kind of like,
you were like, you tried to do one of these.
Trying to be like, but very subtle, where you're just like you're watching it, and then you're like,
start leading it,
like pause, forward,
right,
forward, step forward.
But
so do we like all these new pairings? I kind of like them the way they're ending up now. Like I'm liking Trip and Wendy. I'm liking Chanel and Johnny. I'm liking Alex and Allie.
I can't say I'm mad at it. I just don't agree with the way. Obviously, Allie and Alex, I do kind of like them together. They do have a fun little chemistry together. But just the way they're going about it is wrong.
Oh yeah, totally. I just think though, like, get them settled and let them have these relationships. I don't want like another month from now they're being switched up again. You know what I mean? Like I think we've had enough.
We do need to have some direction with these couples here. And props to Joey for being a good brother, because I mean they were kind of at one point toying with Joey and Wendy, and he kind of like was like, nope, this is my bro's girl, I'm gonna try to do a solid for him, and I thought that was sweet.
I like that. I did too.
Oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
Ooh. And
Oh, I know, and now I remember. I think what we're feeling is that it's a lot at once. It's a lot of shakeups happening at once, and it's not just kind of concentrating on one couple. It's like all of them are just like blowing up in our faces at once.
And it's a lot to keep track of. I remember the moment where Chanel and Johnny walked into the pub, and I was like, oh God, I not forgot, but I was like, oh yeah, okay, now we got to deal with,
part 2.
This stuff, I'm like, okay, it's not, they can't just enjoy their evening now. It's like, okay, now we have to get back into the Johnny Wendy thing. And so it's a lot to keep track of, a lot's happening, a lot's being said, and
yeah, I was just like, you can't go anywhere in Salem because Salem is too small. It's like they showed up at wait, what is the name of that? Oh my God, what is the name of that bar that Alex and
I think they literally named it Small Bar.
Really?
Oh, was it small?
I think so.
Small Bar was a name they threw out before.
Because I realized
the bistro
it
is in
up.
the town square.
Yeah,
right.
I realized it popped up, but like there was never a name. Anyway, well, like
they had that one restaurant set for a while. The one that and apparently it was on the second floor because that's where Gina Hope pushed Jennifer off the balcony.
Wasn't that Chez Rouge?
Was it Chez Rouge?
No.
Yeah.
Chez Rouge was years ago.
Yeah, Chez Rouge was
like 90s. Yeah.
What happened to the Penthouse Grill?
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It's a lot, but I was just like, the bar gets a lot of business. It does.
90s ones,
right? But I felt like it was a lot to deal with. Like it was going to that bar and seeing Alex and Allie, and so then Chanel and Allie had to like have it out with a little bit of Johnny, and then, but kudos to both Rob and Lindsay for playing drunk very well. The funniest part was, how many have you had? Well, let's see. There's
one, two. They're gonna run out of glasses.
So that was fun. But then having to go to the pub and Johnny having to deal with it was just like, ooh, like this. Y'all should have just went to the movies. Y'all should have just went to the movies, honey. But we'll see how this all turns out. I mean, I think it seems like everyone is liking the shakeup. Let us know in the comments how you guys feel about the shakeups. Well, let's go to the second level, all the way up to the second level, up in heaven with Heaven's Angel. Which, by the way, kudos to, and I'm not sure who did this. Kudos to whomever on the interwebs did the Charlie's Angels.
That was where I got the title.
Yes, the Charlie's Angels theme with Kayla, Marlena, and Kate. That was very good. Listen, I have to say, I might sound ridiculous for saying this, but I actually really enjoy what's happening in heaven or midway in heaven. I really wish that there was more of that this week, and I was actually disappointed that we only got
it's like they have
that little bit.
They did this 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Where it's like 1 day a week, and then
1 day a week.
That's it. And for and it's kind of but I guess I don't know. I guess it's okay because they have to like pace it a certain way, and then how much can be being done up there. You know what I mean? Like, how many conversations can they have together? Like, what's there for them to do? What's there for them to show us? And by them, I mean like the show, to show us what they're doing up there. I don't know. Maybe it does make sense, but I do wish we would get some momentum going.
Yeah.
There was some stuff I enjoyed it for the most part, but there was some stuff where he's like, "Here you go. You guys all have crisp $2 bills." I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, did someone get high? And like,
well, I think it's just that moment of like, you have to get they have to get something for selling their souls. So they were just like, here's a $2 bill.
I did enjoy. I thought Blake Barris was funny.
I think so too.
His delivery is always great when he comes back.
But another thing that I kind of like about this storyline is that they have the ability to really bring back some of the dead folks and still like play with that. You know, the interwebs are like, I hate this storyline. I'm tired of the devil stuff. And I'm like, and I try to be careful because I'm like, listen, we're all not gonna like it. We're all gonna, you know, I agree with that. You know, but I feel like it's just so interesting and it's so like soapy and it's such a nod to like the James Riley of it all. You know, so I feel like because I feel like if they did this, like, and let's say they were just roaming around heaven trying to figure it out, I think we all would have been like, okay, so who's dead? Like, who could have they potentially had ran into? You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I like it. I find it interesting. You know, it's, you know, so.
I just what they've done a good job of, like, you know, they've done this, you know, routine where the dead come back, the people die and they're coming back from the dead. People die and they're coming back from the dead. This time it definitely feels different, and it's like, okay, what is actually going on?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I feel like we got a slight, maybe not foreshadowing, but a hint when, and this was kind of in a different storyline, but when Anna came into the pub and was talking about Kate in the urn, and she's like, did you check the ashes? I was like, did anybody? Did you check the ashes? Like,
yeah.
So I have a theory, and I kind of expressed it last week about what I think is actually happening, but we'll see. I at one point thought that one of the ladies was actually going to stay dead, but now I'm kind of changing my opinion on that. Now I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
but I mean, they've been gone so long that now I'm just like, how are y'all going to do this? I'm very curious as to how it's going to be, and I just love the Karen moment of it all. We demand to speak to your manager now.
Yeah, God.
And Nick just kind of being like, okay, you know, it's just so it's interesting how they're doing it. So I mean, I like it. Now, what do we think about this plan to kill Orpheus?
Oh Lord!
Again, understand why, but I'm like, no, no, bad idea.
I like that they want revenge. I just, it just came off like kind of amateur, honestly. The whole like, we're gonna get one of us committed to get in there, and it was like, oh God, don't.
I'm like, this is too convoluted. Like, granted, it would probably work in Salem. Remember, Kristen was able to roam around town just with her hair in a ponytail, and everyone was like, where's Kristen? We don't know where she is. Like, I see how they might think they could pull it off. And I didn't really, maybe I missed it or wasn't paying close attention. How they plan to use Lucas? Obviously, Lucas is in jail with Orpheus, but how are they using Lucas?
Because he's on the inside, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because remember, the first plan was for Steve to do something because he has the criminal record that was going to get him sent to jail, and I was like,
I know.
But girl, how you gonna get out?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think once they figured out like that's not going to work or whatever, and then it was just kind of like, well, maybe we don't.
I know.
No.
It has taken a while. They've been making these funeral arrangements for.
I know, right? For 3 weeks. I was like, you're still making them.
But I think then they were just like, well, you know, maybe we can somehow, you know, get Lucas and, you know, like, so that way they're not involved directly.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly how Lucas is going to, like, there was that moment in the end where he's like, I think it's time you fall off the wagon or whatever he said, whatever Roman said. It was Roman, right? Roman went to see Lucas.
Roman.
And then he said something because Orpheus had brought him, Lucas, that bottle of booze, and he was like, "Take it away. I don't want to fall off the wagon." And Roman was like, "Oh, I think it's time you will." So I'm guessing it's going to be something like Lucas is going to pretend to fall off the wagon. I hope they don't actually
have him fall off the wagon.
Yeah, as a way to help these guys. And so, yeah.
The one thing they did say though is that when someone said like, "Oh, we want to get Lucas to kill him," and he said, "No." So they don't want Lucas to actually kill him. They just want him to be the person either to help set it up, maybe
like on the inside to help. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like I missed like that part of it being presented to us, but maybe
it was the wine. It was probably the wine that you were having, and it just allowed you to just skip out on it, and it's okay.
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome. It's all right. Sometimes we miss stuff, and it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
But this is going to be an interesting plan. But I don't know. I still don't think. I'm starting to think Orpheus didn't have nothing to do with that orchid.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I'm still thinking it's supernatural the whole way.
I think I still have an idea, and I think we're, at least Michael and I think are still on the same page about that.
Oh no, it was me and you. Oh, that part I think.
I was like,
that part I still think. But yeah.
Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Michael.
That's okay. That's okay. I was talking to Bimby. Actually, where is Bimby? I don't know where my dog is. Anyway, Bimby.
So yeah, well, that's heaven for you. So we'll see. I'm curious. Like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be amazing? And I know Joe Muscolo. I know, but if Nick was like, "Hold on, let me get him for you," and then all of a sudden, like this like chair rolls in, and all you see is like the pinky. And they're just like, of course, you're Satan. Yeah. Oh, that would be so good. And they could find someone, they shoot the person from the back to kind of give him, and it's like, oh, my queen of the night, Marlena.
This would be the time to do that. I mean, all scenarios. Yeah. This is the plausible one where they can do that. And
I've never been on board. I've never been on board with them trying to bring actual Stefano, like either back from the dead or whatever. But this isn't back from the dead. This is in whatever realm they're in.
It's like, did you hear about Stefano?
Dead.
Been dead.
So deadish.
All right, well, those were your top storylines. And before we move on to our tidbits, just want to remind you guys to follow us on all social media platforms. Also, make sure you subscribe to our podcast stations. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel and buy our merch. So your support is truly appreciated. All right, so let's get into some tidbits. With these people.
I was just like, these people.
Chad, Stefanie, Doug, Julie, and Alex.
I do appreciate that Alex and Stefanie had that kind of closure conversation. Like, I appreciated that.
But there's still a part of me when she was having that conversation that I think, again, she had feelings for him. And she just tried to figure a way out because Alex was a rebound because she couldn't have Chad. And now that Chad wants her, I think she was, without saying anything, was still kind of looking at Alex like, I'm sorry, like I know, like I was.
It was the guilt, yeah.
I was a bit of a bitch to you, probably for no reason. but in the back of her mind, she's like, but I have Chad now. What? Why Thomas bring up Chad and say, did he?
God. Yeah. Like, are you guys gonna get married? I was just like,
yeah.
Well,
because how do you answer that? You're like, no, because then Stephanie's gonna, like, you don't know. It was just that whole interaction with the kids. I was just like, this is, for whatever reason, I was just like, this is kind of icky. And I there wasn't anything really icky about it other than the fact that Abigail hasn't been, dead for hasn't even a year yet. And you're already introducing the kids to a new mother figure.
Hasn't it been a year?
It hasn't. It was in June last year, I think. June, when Abigail was killed. Oh. So no, it hasn't even been. It's been barely. I can't do the math now. 8 months, 9 months.
8 months, maybe. Yeah.
I think we all agreed that that it's definitely too soon.
Mm-hmm.
I almost expected them when this happened last week. I almost expected Chad this week to have remorse, but no, he's like full in it.
Yeah, and I think what I would have maybe preferred was to kind of keep Stefanie and Alex together, but continue to see this underlining theme between Chad and Stefanie. And then maybe later on this year, it's just kind of like maybe Alex and Stefanie are starting to fizzle out a little bit. Like it was fun, but I went off the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And
they could have done one of those storylines where it's the wrong people are together, but they go with it. They kind of force it, and then when like the next step of their relationship starts to happen, like moving in together, or with as fast as days moves, Stefanie and Alex getting married, then that could have kind of brought Chad in and been like, no, I love you. And then Stefanie could have had this like decision like, oh, I love Alex, but I was in love with Chad. Like they do that all the times on soap. So maybe that would have been, I don't know. I can't say better, but that could have been another direction they could have taken it in.
Yeah. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, it just seems really fast, especially like when you introduce the kids, it just seemed like instant family, because then like the kids automatically love her, and like they loved her before, and now like they're dating and they love her and they're asking about getting married. It was just like, I don't know. It was a little much.
I would have been fine with Thomas being like, are you two dating? And Charlotte just being like, you ain't my mama.
Or one of them like having a problem with it. The fact that they were both just so like
into it.
Yeah, I would actually now that you mention it, maybe like I would have preferred a little bit of resistance on at least one of their parts.
Or no one, or like Thomas didn't say like, weren't you mommy's cousin? Or because they know her as cousin Stefanie. Like there should have been like a little bit of a light bulb moment of like, oh, like you can date cousin, or like something to acknowledge at least a little bit of the weirdness of the fact that she's also part of their family.
Those light bulbs will happen later. Like the light bulb that went off when I was looking at photos of my aunt's wedding and realized she was pregnant in the photos. I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. But see, I looked at those photos my whole life and it didn't, until I was a teenager, it didn't click. So it'll probably click for them later. Doesn't click that's the kind of stuff doesn't click for 4 or 5 year olds.
I think Charlotte is still Dylan Matthews was saying, have y'all noticed that Charlotte has next to no lines? I think she's still like a kid that maybe isn't comfortable with lines just yet. I mean, no one can be a Lauren Bowles.
Yeah, they let Thomas take the lead there, which makes sense. He's an older actor.
Yeah. So, he is like the male version of Lauren Bowles. Like he can probably carry a scene.
Carry a scene with Sammy. Like Lauren Bowles did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, go up against Sammy.
All right. Well, I mean, and I guess the okay that Chad needed to move on was a laugh from Doug and Julie. And I guess that was Abigail giving him the okay.
In between morbid talk about Nick.
I know that it was just awkward.
Julie, get off this Nick thing, girl. I know you're bringing it up because
Nick was an asshole.
Nick in those scenes, but like, if I have to hear about her and Nick again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then we have Sloane to the rescue. Sloane just want all the.
Salome.
Oh, you know what? Someone pointed out that I pronounce her name wrong, and I'm like, it's Sloane, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
Sloan,
doing it where you were like Salone.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were doing, Michael. Like you were making a pun on it or something. Yeah.
Sloane.
Yeah, it's Sloan.
Yeah. Do you think she should represent Lee?
I was actually like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see where this goes. Giving her something a little more I don't want to use that word, but a little more substantial, other than like, a romance thing. I'm curious. I want to see her and I'm sure there have been scenes with her that I'm not remembering, but her and Trask. Like, I want to start seeing her and Trask like go at it.
I actually really like this. I think last week I was saying that Lee just seems like he's so all alone. Like they didn't do anything to like build up friendships with him or anything. So like when Sloane came into the scene, I was like, ooh, like he's interacting with someone else, and someone else that just really doesn't care how evil he is was just like, I'll take the case and I'll get you off and we'll deal with, your marriage later. And it was like, oh, okay, maybe he, he's getting like an ally here in Sloane, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm down for it. You don't care.
That's it.
As much as you love Lee Shin, Tony, you're speechless. You have nothing.
Okay, Remington looked. I don't know what it was. If it was just the way he was lit or his hair was. Remington Hoffman looked good.
He always looks good.
He's a handsome, good-looking fella. But this week, for whatever, when he was sitting in the square, I was like, damn, he looks fine this week. I don't know what it was, but
those scenes in particular, he looked really good.
Yeah.
I still just kind of, I just like the direction that they went in with Lee. I feel like
you just like it or dislike it?
I dislike it. Okay. I think I would have been fine with Stefan and Chloe and Lee and Gabby, and maybe later on, like suddenly Stefan starts remembering, but like, Gabby's just kind of like, like, I don't know. I think this desperation that we're seeing from Gabby is just kind of like, girl.
Oh God,
like,
it's yeah.
But oh well, actually, looks like Sloane is also going to represent Rolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Because right before he was about to sign, Sloane said, He said, So
I like that there needs to be like, back in the day, Peter Blake was the lawyer that not defended the bad people, but was never on like the case that comes to mind was when John was being framed for Tony's murder. Peter was like the prosecution, the one, whatever. And so he was kind of the character that took kind of sided with the bad people and represented them. And now Sloane's going to be that lawyer. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I was actually intrigued. So.
Yeah. Because back in the day, we always had Mickey, who was like every time
the good lawyer. He was the
good lawyer. Yeah.
And I'm also very confused about what Stefan is going to do. Because like I know that he's back in love with Gabby, and I mean I agree with him as far as like neither one of them should take the CEO position because Gabby was doing an amazing job. But then I was like, when Nicole came down and she's still drugged up, from whatever Stefan had put in that mimosa, I was confused. I was like, okay, so Stefan, you're back to the plan of drugging EJ? Like So there was a moment of like total confusion.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So I'm just at that storyline, I'm just like,
yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else with that storyline?
Do we think Nicole's actually having like I mean, this kind of feeds into what we're talking about next, but you know, when a lady gets sick or has a bad reaction, you know, there's always that. Do we need a trip to the drugstore to, you know, pee on a stick?
No, I really think it's the effect of whatever that drug was that Stefan put in there.
Yeah, because it would be Rafe's. Rafe's the only other person she slept with.
It'd be
she
Rafe
slept
or
with
EJ.
When?
Just like a week ago. Oh, did they?
No, she did sleep with EJ.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Well, no. She hasn't slept with anybody.
That's what I'm saying. It would, yeah. If she were pregnant, it would be Rafe, which is months ago. She didn't sleep with EJ. He stopped her. Yeah.
Okay, maybe
that's
not
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why I don't think it's a pregnancy, because it would just be Rafe's. But I think it's been so long since they were together.
Although when she fell in the park and Eric grabbed her, I was like, oh Lord, are they gonna give her a disease?
Oh, that could be. Maybe it doesn't.
For a second, I did think the pregnancy thing, and I was like, time wise, how would that work? But then I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just the effects.
Yeah. And then we saw Stefan actually. Did EJ take a drink of the coffee? Did we?
Yeah.
He did. Okay.
But they ended it there. We didn't see what, like, if it had any effect or anything.
Yeah.
So.
And then just, you know, finishing things off, Eric is still having a tough time and has turned to drinking and was like, would you like one? To Brady. Anna's over there checking ashes and Nicole is falling out. The end.
Yeah. Anna being Anna and like inserting herself in the Chloe bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Like her, like coming over to with Brady and to talk to Chloe to kind of be a mediator because she just needs to feel helpful.
Oh, that made me
that
laugh.
nice man downstairs gave me an extra room key, but I'm like, people in Salem all need to be fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is one thing I meant to bring this. Maybe this is one thing they've been doing the last few months, which I kind of really like. It seems silly in some cases with like Anna, but I like that they're having a lot of the older women like take the younger women under their wing. Kind of, we see it with like Lauren and or like Kate and Jada. Then we saw it with Pauline and Stefanie. We're seeing it with Anna and Chloe. Like I like those scenes where we haven't had scenes like that in a while, where you know we're getting sort of generational people sort of coming together who aren't like mother and daughter or aren't aunt and niece. So I do like that. They seem like they've been repeating that a lot the last maybe month and a half. So
the Kathy Hilton of Salem, Anna DiMera.
Right. All right. Well, that was your week of days, everyone. And now we're going to start with our segments. And we're starting with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! Now, this week I had a very tough time deciding who to give the 3 Snaps Award to. So much so that I didn't even turn in anything for the segment because I was like, well, who do I give it to? So I'm going to give my 3 Snaps Award to a few different things. 1, for the girls in heaven, because I'm loving that whole storyline. 2, for the slide in, I don't think anyone else caught, but when Alex was talking to Allie and was like, you know, I used to be a player, but I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. And I was like, that was a little nod to, I don't want to be a player no more. Yeah. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
Yeah.
Smart for that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also going to give a snap to when you sometimes got to remind folks who you are and that you're no longer a boy. So Johnny DiMera, who looked at Xander and was like, first of all, I'm not a boy, and I'm a DiMera. So I need you to remember that. I was like, oh.
I'm a man. Then he said, I'm a DiMera. Yeah,
that's right. And
that scene first started and Alex approached Xander, I was like, Johnny, no, just don't. But then the scene kept going and he like kind of had his chest puffed out and got real into it. I was like, okay, dig it.
Yeah. And then lastly, because everybody just gets snaps today, I like someone who shows that they're smart and that they're from Salem. So when Anna the mayor said, check them ashes, you have
the way she said it too. Did you check them? I forgot how she like delivered the line. I just cracked up and I was like, yep, she knows.
Yes. And then also the capital MESS, that is all the triangles. So those are all the snaps for this week. This week is snaps. There we go. I think this is the first time in 8 years that I've given that many snaps away. It was just a lot. It was too many. I couldn't think of one. I was just like, you know what? Everybody gets a snap. You get a snap. You get a snap. You get a snap. You get a snap. Everybody gets a snap. All right. Let's move on. Now it's time for
Caption that.
All right, this Caption that photo comes courtesy of Wendy and Trip. This week's Caption that photo comes courtesy of Wendy and Trip sharing a beer, not sharing a beer, but cheersing. And this week's caption, once again, for the second week in a row, goes to Brian Miller on Instagram with his caption, "Here's today's not being preempted by Chinese balloons." Because it's on Peacock. We don't get the interruptions anymore.
Right. Yep.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And that was
Caption that.
And there is no It's a Gift today because Araceli isn't here. So we're going to give you a little bit of
Those Were the Days.
Thanks, Tony. I caught that. I'm taking you back to February 8th, 1995.
Oh, you broke him.
Where Sammy and Lucas conceived Will on the floor. Yeah, the storyline was just a hot mess, of course. Sammy and Lucas were two scheming teenager best friends who were sort of like the second choices and got together one night. And then this is where Austin, played by Patrick Muldoon back then, came in and caught them. But for some reason, because Lucas was after Carrie, he thought it was Carrie. This is what led Sammy to drug Carrie and Lucas, put them in bed together, which allowed her to drug and rape Austin, which was all wrapped up together. It was a whole big mess. But yeah, this is what started off Sammy and Lucas making love for the first time and conceiving Will, February 8th, 1995.
Those were the days.
And now it's time for news and gossip.
Starting off a little bit of a sad note, we want to send out some condolences and prayers to Cody Longo. If you don't recognize him, he was on Days, played Nikki Alamane, I believe in 2011. I think he played Nikki during the Carly Melanie paternity storyline before they sort of got ushered off. They brought Nikki back in for about a month, maybe a month or two, and to kind of finish out that storyline. So prayers and condolences. He passed away this week, and he was only 33 years old and had a wife 34. And children. Huh? 34. Sorry. Oh, 34. Sorry. He was also on the show Hollywood Heights, and some of you may recognize him from Make It or Break It. But yeah, just condolences and prayers to family and friends. Cody Longo. And next up, we have the Days YouTube page has released sort of this series of videos. They keep going with this. This one titled Valentine's Va Va Voom. In this case, they sort of had actors come on and give their best sort of sexy, intimate scenes that they've done, or their favorites of the sexy, intimate scenes that they've done. Some of these are actually really surprising with who each character picked. Just a hint, they did not all pick the partners that they're currently with. A lot of them have not even picked actors that are not even on the show anymore. Some of them will be actually interesting and surprising to you who these actors thought their sort of steamiest scenes were with. So go check them out. And I think actually they added one more I couldn't include. Maybe like right before we went on air, I think they may have added who am I missing? I think Rob. They added Rob. So go check it out on the Days YouTube page. Next up are fan events, starting with the one with Eric Monsov in Rick Springfield and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, October 5th through 9th. You can go to rickspringfieldgetaway.com for tickets and information. And then we have the Starstruck fan events. First one in Atlanta, March 11th through 12th. And second one was hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore, April 15th through 16th in Morristown, New Jersey. For all tickets and information, you go to StarstruckFanEvents.com. Yes. And continuing with our very own Mr. Tony Moore.
Oh, me.
Or seen, yes.
Who?
Kevin, as part of the official selection for the Hollywood Real Independent Film Festival. Congratulations, Tony.
Yeah.
Premiering, February 25th, 5 p.m. Regal Cinemas here in LA at LA Live. If you are local, please go and check it out. And also we have, I believe, VOD information on that, Tony. You can fill us in.
That was through the NRFF Love Story Film Festival out of London. Today is the last day for you to see it on demand through that film festival. For all information regarding that, you can just simply go to my Instagram at Lounging with Tony, and all details will be there.
Yes. And last but not least, we kind of got into this a little bit earlier, but I thought maybe we just do a little bit of a recap if people in the chat could probably chime in. We did our 8th anniversary happy hour, which we thought was going to be an hour, and we clocked in it 2.5 hours later. Yes, almost 3 hours actually. And it was actually a lot of fun from my perspective. I wasn't sure kind of what was going to happen, what we were, what we were going to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised about the people who came in to wish us from Days. Not the actual people, but the fact that a lot of them sat and stayed and sort of participated and became of the show, which I thought was really nice and sweet. Yeah, thank you to those who participated. It was just a really, really fun time, and I definitely speak for myself and everyone.
That was a quick 2.5 hours. It was a quick 2. It wasn't like oh crap, it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Especially when wine kicks in.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, we were.
And shout out to Bruce is in here. We got to meet and talk to Bruce. So it was
Megan,
fun.
Wendy,
Megan, yes, Wendy,
Annie.
Susan. It was just nice to be able to see everyone face to face. Manny, Megan. It was just nice to see everyone face to face. It was nice to see those people who had purchased Dishin Days merch wearing the merch.
Yes,
Dylan was in the room as well.
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes it was hard to because Dylan has a very heavy Australian accent. So for a moment we were like, huh?
What'd you say?
But if you guys are open to more virtual events, let us know. We don't want to do the typical like star and Q&A that like everybody else is doing. No shade to anyone else, but we want to do like some fun stuff. So if you guys are interested in doing that and would be willing to participate, let us know. Leave some comments below. And thank you guys once again for those who joined us and all the day stars who continue to support us as well. So thank you.
Yeah. Great.
Justin.
Yes.
This is really the best picture you could get of me?
Oh, this was from Tony's. This was Blame Tony.
Oh,
this is
Tony.
This is from the Dishin Days Instagram.
Well,
listen, I don't look great either. Only Araceli and Tony look good in that photo.
Well, here's the thing is, in that setting, you have to find the right moment to pause. And I mean, listen, I'm always camera ready. So I mean,
oh wow, okay.
Are you though?
Dylan, send us those pictures, okay?
Dylan knows because I get all the gifts. So,
well, you ask for them. That's why you get them.
Radio silence on that one.
No,
the last thing I want to do is look at myself.
No. I actually never asked for them. Dylan always.
Some people enjoy that. I don't.
Dylan always just sends them, and I'm not mad because I actually have most of my conversations are through gifts. So
Justin.
Now I can show my own gifts, which is great.
Good. I love that story. You should tell it at parties.
There's only one way to solve this. I'm just kidding.
Are you gonna remove me?
Only for you to add yourself right back?
No, Michael won't. He'll leave.
I'll just be like, oh, okay.
Michael would completely leave. Oh, I'm sorry. And that was...
Well, hang on.
You have one job.
What? No. Got like 5.
News and gossip. All right. And now it's time to see what's coming up this week on Peacock's exclusive.
It's Valentine's Day, and I can't stop thinking about you.
Oh, darling. You came back to me?
Where else would I be on our anniversary?
I'll have what she's having.
Now she's holding hands with him.
I know nothing happened between you and Alex.
I think everyone should show our faces after we just watched that. It was a lot. Okay, well.
Hey, they got the restaurant back.
Yes, we were just talking.
And
there it is.
And already I'm going to say, yes, Nicole, in that dress.
Yeah, she looked great.
Ari can serve. They sometimes on the show, I'm like, that was the best you could do, wardrobe, makeup, whatever. But when they can really, she can serve.
Yes, she can.
No.
All right. Well, that was your Super Bowl Sunday edition of Dishin Days. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live. And if you're listening to us later, thank you so much. But before we head out, Michael Mattis, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Justin Lee Hareld?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And of course, you can find us at Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. Side note to all of those who may not be aware, we are a podcast. So I think some people are surprised when they log on to Dishin Days or when we go live and they see me and they're like, well, we're the stars of Days. Or they message us like, tell the folks at Days. And I'm like, we're just a podcast, people. But thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy your wings, your nachos, your hot dogs, your hamburgers, your pizza, your camaraderie with friends. I hope you enjoy the game and, of course, the Rihanna concert that is featured. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful week. And we will be back next week to serve up a full dish of this coming week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Gotta go because Michael Mattis has to pee.
Bye.